Snorted Ryan.
Damn right, Ryan says fat pile of cocaine with MCA money.
We don't got no money. Hey guys, how y'all doing?
We gotta fix this shit.
That was a great way to start. We got no money. We're broke. People, it's the midweek chat attack. How y'all fucking doing today? I am Mr. Nick Diaz. I'm your host, but we're all hosts. I just run the shit, the broadcast, but who cares? No one cares about me.
He's the one that gets to yell and we listen.
Yeah, but like no one really likes me. I'm just so sad. I'm depressed.
I'm trying to kill him every day.
Yeah, that's true. Well, actually, no. Legitimately, Alan thinks about killing me every fucking day. I know he's never said that, but I'm 100%
Oh, no, I've
sure.
actually told you this.
Really? You haven't? Wasn't listening because I never listened to you because that's the reason why you want to kill me.
I'll kill you!
I will fucking kill you. Alan does that when he's playing video games all the fucking time, and he does this thing where he just sounds extra white, just going, I will fucking kill you. And it's really weird. But Alan, how you doing, man?
Now you know how it is.
Gotcha, how you doing, man?
I'm fucking pissed.
Why is that?
What?
Okay, God's gonna go on a little rant here. Because later we're gonna talk about a trailer. Once time in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
What is with Hollywood just doing self jerk off films for the past 2 years?
2 years? I mean, the past two universes? Like,
God,
the last 2 years has been really apparent. Like the films don't hide that it's about ex Hollywood. Like sometimes you have a movie that's like a detective film, but they base it in old Hollywood to have the aesthetics. Now they're just making movies about old Hollywood.
Oh,
so I
you
don't
want to know
what's
why?
going on.
3 letters. MCU. People
Well,
are still,
yeah.
Think about it. The MCU relaunched the whole summer blockbuster of like, look at all these big budget, $200 million movies, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and nobody's watching the fucking like Oscar bait movies.
Yeah.
So like, well, shit, man, we gotta remind people that Hollywood is great. Release La La Land and release all these fucking movies to jerk off Hollywood because remember old Hollywood?
And
way
plus
better than
too-
stupid superhero shit.
And it's counterculture too, because people that are sick of the
Exactly.
comic book shit, they're just like, man, I want to watch something else different. What are my choices?
Do you
Just
remember
the
when it
same
was
thing.
real actors? And they had real
that shit.
emotions?
Yeah.
Not that we did the exact same stupid bullshit where we were just selling movies based on the actors, based on the visuals, based on the sets. The only difference is we had $5 movies versus $200 million movies.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, we'll talk about that more so in a little bit.
Oh,
But
we
here's the
are.
thing, though. Jet Jackson, how you doing?
I found my shake after like 10 minutes.
How do you lose
God.
a shake?
Stop
Stop
being
it.
weird.
I mean, she was probably throwing in that fast shit, so I appreciate it. Do your duty, Jet. Do your duty.
Wait,
And
she
her
threw
Actually,
out fat
I mean,
shits?
it was frozen, so if I did throw this at someone, it'd knock someone out. But I put it down somewhere, and then I don't remember where I put it. It was actually like on the floor, like right in front of my bed.
I just like how she said, like, I threw it at, or Conjure was like, I think she threw it at fat shits. Like, man, you got to make sure to say your words right, because...
No, I said fast shit. My internet probably fucked up on the halfway point between fast and ass. But like, no, I said fast shit. 'Cause that's the new trend right now in Europe where they're throwing milkshake at Nazis and shit.
Really? Why waste such perfectly good
No,
milkshakes?
it's gotten such a big press that Burger King's like, yeah, we're doing a sale here near this rally. So if you guys want to come pick up your milkshakes, ...
I mean, hey, if they're making money off of it, it's like, yeah.
They don't give
Yeah.
a fuck.
But anyways, people know. So I'm looking here in the Twitch chat. I see that Roots was in there. Cedric, Baby Lotion Motion. How you doing, sir? Wait, Baby Lotion Motion. That's not his fucking name. Just wow. That should be his name. The Baby Lotion Mob. It's like, is there really a mob of Baby Lotion people? I
No,
don't know.
you cannot keep mispronouncing people's names and then asking them to change it.
Well, I mean, it's not my fault that I say it
He's asked
incorrectly.
somebody-
Yes, it actually is.
My
Oh.
friend, he's asked somebody to change their legal government name for him.
Yeah, fucking poor Dahan, who Nick will never pronounce his name right.
That's Daihan. You just fucked it
It's
up.
not Dahan. He literally changed it today.
I hope you Daihan.
Fuck, like you are so bad at it.
It's not my fault that his name
It
is fucking
literally
weird.
is.
A-E-D-A-E. What the? A-E can be
Okay, sorry,
anything.
let's even break that down. How the fuck does DAE go die?
How the fuck does it go day? Well, it makes sense. Shit. All right, well, let's just get to the
Alrighty then.
topic. Fuck.
Hey, the next episode we're gonna have a gay marriage since we're doing educational shows now.
What?
That's all right. So here's.
What the fuck did you just say?
Hey, I was referencing Arthur and their love of making Mr. Ratburn Vogue. All right.
Oh yeah, you know they
educational
took that
show?
off.
Yeah,
They took that
Arthur-
off though. By the way, apparently in some places they PBS was like, "Yo, we're getting so many complaints about this that episode's now banned."
My favorite comment was like, Alabama would let the episode play if Mr. Rapper actually married his sister. Because the plot line was Mr. Rapper was hanging out with this girl and everyone thought it was going to be his wife for like the whole episode. But it actually turned out to be his sister. She was planning the wedding. And I just love that thought process of like, yeah, Alabama's cool incest, but nah, good gay marriage, fuck that.
Yeah, Jen, are you at all interested in watching this Arthur gay episode with Miss Rapper? And do you feel like that even fits? Because I feel like they're really trying to like do something for gay people since it's a cool thing and making Rapper gay. And I don't know how he's supposed to be gay. Like it's just
Mr. Rappern's always been fucking gay. Like if you watch the show, that motherfucker's always been gay as fuck.
Right,
how
Jen,
so?
All right, I don't know how much you remember of fucking Arthur because I'm pretty sure all of us watched it back in like grade school and shit. But did he have a girlfriend or a wife or something in one episode?
I don't remember that.
See, I don't remember that either. But the thing is, he's just a teacher. Like, why are we supposed to know anyways? Like, why is it important in his sexual orientation?
They're supposed to live at school. They're supposed to have lives outside school.
No, you know what I'm saying, man.
Yeah,
you got
they
like
don't live
10
in a
kid
fucking
characters
hut in the back. Like they go home at some point.
But there's 10 different characters. There's 10 different kid characters that are important on the show. And for some reason, it's like, oh, but we need to make sure I let you guys know the story of the teacher. It's like, no one ever gives a fuck about the teacher.
Well, he's an important part of the show. He's basically a role model for him.
If they're going to explain that to be realistic and kind of show, like, this expanding universe, then can we at least see one motherfucker age? Like, it's been 25 years. Can I please see Arthur get some kind of facial hair?
That's the thing about Simpsons. We can't have character growth on Simpsons because the character is fucking in grade 4 for like their entire fucking lives. Like you can still have character growth and character there as you're building the character. This is a change to the character.
Hate to put a halt to the show and everything, but I'm wondering if this is on my end. Ganja, did you notice Alan's internet fucking up, or is that just me?
Yeah, I was noticed that. It wasn't just Alan, it was you too. Like it was just Google Hangouts fucked up, but it's good now. I would have said something if it was still fucking up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but if something happens, we're dropping tons of frames. Let me know because I don't want to do a whole show. And then, as a matter of fact, I should probably start local recording it, but I don't want to put more pressure on my computer. But if something happens, we can easily just postpone.
Barely hold it together, sir. I can't take any more pressure.
But anyways, we'll go through our topics pretty quick because in 18 minutes, Double Toast is going to be starting. Then they're going to be reviewing Brightburn as well as Aladdin, which are two movies that I feel like
for them, man. Holy shit.
Well, Brightburn might be cool. Brightburn.
Maybe, but Aladdin, only goddamn shit.
Alan, Prince Ali,
I'll kill him. I will not, dude. That movie's been getting like middling reviews. I am not watching that fucking movie.
I'm gonna go see it.
Go see it. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Gotcha. Do me a fucking favor as a homie doggy. All right, don't ever do that dance again for fuck's sake.
You don't like my titties?
No! No! Oh my god.
I'm trying to eat.
Let me shake my chi-chis in peace, Jet.
You know,
I'm trying to fucking eat.
Why are you eating on the podcast?
Cause I found my fucking shake.
All right. Oh, you're gonna eat your shake? That doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Drink shake for
well,
sure.
Guess what? My shakes bring all the boys to the yard, Jet, and damn right they're better than y'all's.
Can we move
Yeah,
on?
they bring the fucking police.
We have a show to do.
What you call Ruth is saying Nick, the Walking Dead fan is mad about the side character focus episodes. Okay, you know what? You're right. You do got a point to Ruthless. I will take the L on that. But at the same time, Walking Dead, because it's such a good show, that they can actually have tons of stories about tons of characters and not have a show be based on one person. It wasn't the Rick Grimes show. It was The Walking Dead. Arthur is literally.
Oh, don't you
Arthur.
fucking lie to yourself!
No, Arthur is. Rick Grimes is not even on the show anymore.
Dude, it was for the longest time the Rick Grimes show. Yeah, they got rid of Rick Grimes, but for the longest time it was the Rick Grimes show, man.
There's seasons, especially in season 4, where we do not see Rick Grimes at all for like 3 episodes in a row. His story is probably the most important, but still.
But for a lot of times it was a Rick Grimes show, just like how Game of Thrones was the Jon Snow show for a long time.
Yeah, I know, but then it's like if you can kill Jon Snow eventually because the show continues on. There's other shit. Like, I don't even watch Game of Thrones, but the show is about the Game of Thrones. So it's like you can kill anybody. But what did they do
afterwards with both Walking Dead and Game of Thrones? They focused on side characters. They built the world up.
I'll play it like this really quick. And granted, I know this is going to be arguable as well, and we'll move on, whatever, but like the Defenders. I'm actually going to bring up Defenders a couple of times later on, by the way. It's kind of interesting that this is coming up again. But in Defenders, we know that Daredevil is pretty much the main character of the show, right?
Okay.
So, and even like the show ends and it's his death. Sorry, spoilers. But like, like, okay, this show died with Daredevil. The thing is, though, is that this show, if someone said, okay, I'm not going to be on here anymore, there's all these other characters. It could be easily based around Luke Cage. They can have separate stories where it's like a couple episodes, it's just Luke Cage and Iron Fist's story, and then there's other 2 episodes, it's just Daredevil and Jessica Jones. You know what I mean? So it's like, That's why I feel about Walking Dead. That's why I feel about Game of Thrones. Now, a show like fucking Arthur, like, sorry, Ruthless, to continue in the argument here too, but maybe we could talk about this morning after hours on Saturday or something. But Arthur is just Arthur. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need all this other shit going on. I just want to see Arthur's journey. You know what I mean? And it goes with like a lot of shows, like Barry, for instance, on Netflix. I haven't watched the show, but I would hope that they don't have episodes where Barry's not in there because it is called Barry. So I want to know about Barry.
The thing is, okay, one about that show is they do try to build up the other characters, which are all awful, so fuck. That show is great, by the way, check it out. The thing is that's how you keep a show going for fucking ever. That's why Walking Dead, like, eventually was able to keep itself fresh, because it added in characters like fucking Daryl and Michonne. It was able to do, because it was literally the Walking Rick, or the Ricking Dead, or whatever the hell you want to call it.
The Walking Rick,
for
like
years. Until they started establishing and building their characters. That's how they keep a show fresh. How I Met Your Mother would have never got past season 2 if it focused entirely on Ted. But it focused on all the other more interesting characters around him, so it became a better show and everyone watched it more. So with Arthur, to keep things fresh, they change up characters, they add stuff to them to keep the shows going so that they don't eventually cancel, because there's only so many stories you could tell with the same character.
And Baby Lotion says, is Walking Dead better than Game of Thrones, Nick? I know he's making a joke. Here's the thing, though. I'm going to take away my fanboyism for just the fact that I love Walking Dead and I don't even watch Game of Thrones, so I can't say shit about that. But just based on the whole, like, after season 4, every single season was contentious. There's times where people say, man, season 5 is the best. There's times where season 5 is the worst. There's times where season 6 is boring, and then it's really interesting because of dialogue. It was always split. The Walking Dead, for the people who love The Walking Dead, it's just great. All the way through for people who like it. Now, for people that just went into it because it was popular and then they didn't like it anymore, well, they're not going for that audience. They don't care to be the fucking most popular thing. They are trying to entertain their fans. Just like WWE. And it's like another thing that people love telling you, man, wrestling's fake. Like, no shit, I like it. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's fake.
Well, you
Hey,
also gotta
Captain
be
America
honest.
did hold a hammer in that fight. Like,
Yeah,
You
exactly.
gotta also be honest, Nick. Like, The Walking Dead also pissed off their fans. Like, me and you,
Oh,
the
yeah.
reason we never argue about Walking Dead is because I told you when I fell off, and you agree that's some fucking bullshit that they pulled with the whole season being dedicated to the sister that gets her head popped off in the final episode.
Yeah.
Like, I quit after that.
But it's all
But
ratio based too, though. Like, it's
Yeah.
like that was, you know, half of a season, which for you, it's like you didn't watch anything after that, so it's a bigger ratio for you. Me, it was literally, that was a very small portion of what I didn't like. So as soon as that part ended, I liked the rest. You though,
no, I was invested in her story.
oh really? Were?
I wasn't.
Yeah, I liked her growth. Like, I liked the idea that she was this, like, basically when she first appears on Herschel Farm, she's basically this meek teenager who's not ready to accept the world for how it is. By the end of the episode, she's ready to kill somebody in the protection of someone who's protecting her. She's now starting to realize that this is survive or be killed. You have to make choices like this. This is no longer like normal world you're used to. Boom! Her head's gone now.
Oh no, dude, no. I'm sorry, I've never fucking liked Beth. I fucking just Beth the moron. I kept calling her every time they cut to her. She might as well be the brand. She might as well be the Bran Stark of the fucking Walking Dead, because she actively does nothing and just gets dragged along to the plot as he fucking needs to. So it's dedicated an entire season to her. Yeah, I agree with you. Dedicated an entire fucking season to her just for her to get shot in a sequence that makes no goddamn sense. Of she stabs a person. And it's like, okay, maybe that's why she, and then gets randomly shot, and the person that got stabbed make it seem like she didn't shoot her, but that's the only way she could have got shot. It's like, did some magic ghost kill her? What the fuck was
my
that?
favorite was the
sequence?
guy everybody loves Chris guy she was saving dies in the next episode.
That
Oh,
was
the
that was
next
really
season, but
frustrating.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh
was a
my
really frustrating
God.
thing too. And the thing is like, and that's what I liked about this, is that they were able to revert that. They're like, hey, this is bad, but here's the thing. We got some characters. Hey, especially, this is a big thing too, the racism of the show. There was a lot of times where black people would just show up and then they're dead. And
Yeah.
they started noticing fans were like, I don't like this. And they're like, okay, well, we're not basing this fully on the comic book or whatever. We're doing whatever the fuck we want to do. So we can change things like that. Game of Thrones is like, no, someone has to get to the throne. And I know that you said this before, Alan, as well, where you like when shows have a goal. Like, everything's working to this particular goal. The reason why I don't like that is because if I'm starting to find the goal to be uninteresting, well, I might as well just get out of it because I no longer give a fuck about this goal. Walking Dead changes a goal every 3 episodes.
Walking Dead never has a goal to begin with. It just, like, the whole goal is just, hey, can we keep this fucking place from not burning down for 3 fucking episodes? That's literally the only thing they ever fucking try to do, and that's actually why I got bothered from, like, again, that's why I like season 2 of The Walking Dead, because I'm like, hey, you're actually doing and settling something. Oh, we're gonna blow it up? Okay, cool. What are we gonna do next? We're gonna go to a fucking prison and do the exact same fucking thing.
Max says this too. I like this thing. Oh, I'm sorry if you were continuing. My bad.
Motherfucker. Anyway, I just kept fucking doing that until season 6. I'm like, okay, you have a town to work with. Cool, I like this. And season 7 continued that. Season 8 is just one overlong action scene. And I gave up on Rick's last episode I hear it gets way better. I'll have to check it out.
Mhm.
But like, that's my problem with Walking Dead. It's just like, it feels like, what's the goddamn point?
This is
Like,
like
we're
Nick you
just-
touched on. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, all right. Because I'm about to say, Alan's like, and another thing. No, I get you though. Because we do gotta get to topics soon, but it's just like Max did bring this in, and I know you can add to this as well. The How I Met Your Mother thing.
Yeah.
Like, I was interested. I was really, really curious. Like, oh, okay, well, how did he meet the mom? Like, I'm very curious. And even though it's a sitcom, sometimes sitcoms can have good storylines. And How I Met Your Mother was a really, really good show that surprised the fuck out of me with tons of finales.
Oh yeah.
But by the third finale of a season, I'm like, all right. You need to tell me who the fuck this mom is. Like, this is starting to get on my fucking nerves. And then when you find out, like, for one, I didn't watch it all the way up to the finale, but I was already sick of this concept of How I Met Your Mother. Like, this show is interesting, but because of the concept, it's dumb. And then you finally find out with the finale, and it was so...
Holy shit.
It was so angry, and I was like, okay, officially fuck this show. Like, fuck this show. And I
So,
know it's
okay.
a sitcom, but still. Go ahead.
We won't talk about too much because I think that if we do get to the topic at some point, we'll talk about it a little bit more. But fuck that finale. That is legit one of the worst finales I've ever seen to a television show ever. It retroactively ruins the series. But the thing what made How I Met Your Mother interesting was it wasn't just like, as much as it's about How I Met Your Mother, it's also about every single person in his life. So you get so many different stories from all these interesting people that are way more interesting than the main character. And it just becomes a show where it's like, hey, I want to know more about this character. I want to know more about that. That's what made the show interesting, was everyone else.
Yeah, and Joshua Javon Williams saying Walking Dead still comes on, and fuck you, goddammit. But anyways, moving on from this, we'll actually get to the topics now. I know that you guys are probably like, wait, is there a show? What the fuck? So one of the main things that we're gonna talk about, and this is where Ganja was actually mad just getting into the fucking call. Once upon a time in Hollywood, once upon a time in South masturbatory fucking storylines. I gotta tell you.
Oh, remember the golden age of Hollywood when we had actors, a real budget, and people built their own sets? Oh!
Ew.
So that's disgusting.
You didn't have to go that far with it, honestly. We got it.
I mean, you're gonna be the one in the theater with these people, so make sure to watch out for splash
Oh,
zones.
fuck no.
No, so here's the thing. Like, I'm not even. I completely agree with Ganja, but I'm not as mad because Quentin Tarantino, I think right now, is pulling a wool over everybody's eyes. When you look at this, especially because of the name, the first thing you think of obviously is Hollywood because it's in the title. This movie, I don't feel is really about Hollywood. I really, really don't think it is. I think that right now he actually did. He has been quoted in saying to the press and whatnot, "Do not spoil this fucking movie," because apparently this aired in the Cannes Film Festival, and everyone's like, "Yo, that shit was way too disturbing for what y'all did at the end." And fuck this movie because of how disturbing
You
it gets.
guys, I can spoil it for you if you want.
No, don't.
Oh, fuck.
No, I can. It's not because I know like the spoilers. I know just from this trailer.
Okay,
What,
go ahead.
what the fuck this movie is about? Because I thought this
All
movie
right,
was about the Manson
Alan,
murder.
Alan, right there, Alan. That's my problem with this film. It's just trying to jerk itself off with old Hollywood. It's gonna go through the actor's life, the directors, all the high and glimpse of that. They're probably gonna touch on the hippie lifestyle, live free, care, love, do drugs, and all that shit. And I'm already telling you, from what the end scene of those people walking together, and then with the guy hanging out by the actor's house and waving to him, it's gonna be a parody on the Manson murders. So the last minute is gonna be whatever happened in the Manson murders done to these characters, so they can get a full overall. This is the '70s Hollywood, man. Remember when the time was violent? You had peace and love and all the different countercultures, and of course, all that came to an end with the Manson murders, because then peace and love died because only a few hippies could kill people, and that's how you ruin a movement. Apparently, I don't fucking know, but that's exactly what's going on here. There's no difference from it. Like, honestly, if you guys get mad at me for spoiling this shit, like, you did not know what was going on. Like, even if the ending is not 100% the Manson murders, they're doing that. There's going to be a scene with the Manson murders, either towards the end or near the ending.
Yeah, and I know Babe Ocean saying like, man, why y'all hating this? The ending is not the Manson murders. He got sources. I feel like it's going to be too. I agree with Ganja, but you're saying the word parody, and I'm thinking like, what, you think it's gonna be done comedically, or do you?
No, it's not going to be done comedically, but in terms of like, all right, if you watch the trailer now, it's trying to be a parody of old Hollywood, but not too much that it goes into the comedy group. It's having the extreme versions, the extreme colors, the extreme clothing, the extreme dance, like what we saw there with Leonardo DiCaprio doing his little jigabug, doing the fucking doing his the Lifetime premiere stuff, because that's stuff they used to do. But it's just a little more exaggerated, so we can build the universe and bring you in. So when this darkness of the Manson happens, it's like, oh my god, that ruined all the perfect things that are happening to time. Meanwhile, black people are getting fucking maced in the South.
Yeah, and I'm actually curious too. Like, Jay, I'm gonna ask you, what do you feel about these movies kind of being self-masturbatory? I mean, do you find Hollywood to be something where no matter what now, since we've seen all these movies come out, are you completely like just right away not interested, or can something like this actually work up you to be, like, I guess, optimistic about a movie like this?
here's the thing. It probably could work. I don't really care. I don't give two shits about Hollywood. I never did. I really don't care about this movie one way or the fucking other. I don't care about fucking Brad Pitt. I don't give a shit about Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't care about Margot Robbie being in these fucking movies.
Are you
I
getting
find
sick
them
of her,
all
by the
kind
way?
of boring.
Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
I mean, no, you're fine. I really didn't see her in much. Like the only memorable thing I actually remember her from was like the Big Jordan fucking Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was very meh. I don't think it's the worst DC movie that came out, and her performance was okay. I didn't really care. It's just this movie. I don't want to just sit in the fucking theater again and basically just watch these people be fucking goofs, and then some fucking like fetishization of some fucking serial killer happens again. I'm so tired of this fucking let's bring in the serial killer shit shit going on now with the whole like shit on Netflix and all this other shit. Like I'm so fucking tired.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
Ted
like
Bundy
Lorena Jordan Peele's doing a thing about Lorena, the girl who chopped off her boyfriend's dick. Or whatever.
Oh my fucking God.
And it's like, and here's the thing, like I actually am curious about that story. I think
that story has a lot more elements than just a serial killer because she did that because she was being abused, so you could do a little more
she was
with
a
that.
victim. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Whereas these ones are just like these horror killers that honestly, let's be honest, a lot of fucking white males get into in their early 20s when they try to go through their edgy phase. We've all done it. If we've been to like near alternative music or hard metal, you messed around with this stuff to a certain degree. Like how many times have we talked about the lead singer of Korn having what's it all about Ted Bundy's van and shit?
Yeah.
That's just that part of that counterculture shit.
The thing is, the funny thing is I'm something that like I watch Mindhunters, Making Murder. I actually do like serial killers, not in the sense of they're awesome people, more just it's just interesting that these people fucking exist. So I watch a lot of the documentary series.
And mental illness is very, very interesting in general.
I mean, they use mental illness as basically like a cover up. You want to know what actually drives these people to fucking kill? They fucking hate women.
Yeah.
Most time, yeah.
And they're racist. They're racist and they hate women. That's what drives them to kill. They don't got no fucking complex shit going on. They're fucking like losers who know basically, they're also white so they can get away with shit.
That's one of my problems with the Ted Bundy movie is they don't really touch upon his relationship with his mother, which was a huge play on why he viewed women so poorly and why his victims were mostly women and then like more effeminate gay guys.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot about the Zac Efron Ted Bundy movie, one of which it sucks, but the other thing that Jet's going for is like that's not necessarily wrong. Racism, hate women. That's not like. But when you see the way that they act, it's not normal. There is. It's not a way to brush it away. These people are mentally ill. It's just they're done in a way that you don't notice it because they're suave and they're able to like talk their way out of anything. But it's like no, these people.
That's white people that fall for that shit.
Yeah, because that's one thing I don't like about this too. Is like, look, I have sympathy for mental illness, but it's getting to a point now where mental illness is just fucking an excuse. And it kind of like negates people that do actually have a fucking mental illness. And it gets to a point now where it's like, you're ruining it for people who actually have legitimate fucking problems because you put them in the same boat as these fucking weirdos who choose to have the mental illness, which no longer becomes an illness, man. That becomes just a fucking like. That's a choice. That's not like, I'm handicapped to this fucking like.
My favorite is I'm liking that's becoming a thing now, especially with our generation. We're trying to actually help people that have mental disabilities, but we're also calling out people that are just using it as an excuse to act their asshole behaviors. Because I remember this Facebook meme this girl posted. It was I forget her name. I'm not gonna say it because she was an old school friend of mine. She was posted, "If you can't handle me at my highs and at my lows, then you can't handle me at all." And one of my friends put in like, "Bitch, you're 25 years old. Go get therapy. You're bipolar. You need medication."
Yeah, like I said, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's that whole thing of like, oh hey, as long as if they're Arab, they're terrorist. If they're black, they're thug. If they're white, they're mentally ill or some shit. Like that whole thing of.
And they only use that for fucking white people. They never go into like fucking black people who basically do have a lot of the time more PSD and all this other shit than fucking white people. When it's them, it's basically like, they're fucking hood terrorists and shit. When it comes to white people, they got mental illnesses and stuff and they had a bad time with their families and all this other shit. Like, no, they're just pieces of shit.
Yeah, but one thing I want to bring up too really quick is that, even though Condra's bringing up the parody aspect of even having Charles Manson in here, or even some kind of like characters who will act like him, the thing is like, they had this character in here, or not character, the actor Kurt Russell, and he looks like he's the same character from Death Proof, which is another Tarantino. It's part of the Grindhouse.
Kurt Russell had to change his character in 10 years.
Oh, yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, because it's Tarantino, and I don't know if Robert Rodriguez has anything to do with this, but in the Grindhouse movie Death Proof, he was wearing the exact same thing. He was in the same era of time, so everyone's kind of putting together, this character we're gonna get more of his origins and how he's affected in this particular world. But now I'm having an issue with just doing that thing where you mix fiction and nonfiction together, and I think that's kind of like, I don't know, for me, silly. I don't think that actually fits at all. But I was gonna ask you guys, and I'll start with you. Do you think there's an issue mixing nonfiction with fiction, especially with a character like him who's so ridiculous and death proof? Does he even fit in something like this where you're burning Charles Manson and shit?
I mean, fuck. If that's the case, then Inglourious Bastards doesn't work, because Inglourious Bastards is just a fucking fiction and non-fiction. It's like, hey, World War II and Hitler were real, but guess what? We killed him in this random suicide fucking thing. And it's like, that movie's fucking amazing, but it's like, you gotta take it for what it is. It's like, just because Charles Manson was a real person doesn't mean we can't sit there and just tell whatever fucking story we want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not every single fucking depiction of Manson or Bundy or whatever the fuck has to be this fucking, like, historical piece. Like, we could just have some bullshit where we're having fun with it. I guess as much fun as you can have with a serial killer.
Yeah, true. But like, that's the thing that's just kind of odd to me, man. And once again, like, I like the Bruce Lee aspect of it too. I know people love the Bruce Lee. I love him a lot. I kind of don't get it, but at the same time,
if you love action movies, you love Bruce Lee. It goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it does go hand in hand. But then it's like, you know, too much of this stuff is I mean, God was saying self-masturbatory as far as Hollywood goes. I think it's almost like too Tarantino masturbatory, like almost like Ready Player One with the fucking Steven Spielberg shit. Why do we still guys see the fucking foot stuff? Like, I guess I don't have it on stream here.
Jet, you're eventually gonna get the last of that shake if you just keep going harder. Just go harder.
No, she's just gonna eat the fucking canister.
Oh, it did.
I'm waiting to hear the pop from the end of the cup, because she's fucking going too hard on it.
Well, yes, I'm using this fucking spoon like a fucking ice pick and shit. I thought I'm using my knife. I'm just like, I'm getting fucking irritated because it's like, it's all hard on this. I'm just like, give me my fucking ice cream.
You gotta find a
give
woolly
me your
mammoth
ice.
before you get all that ice cream out.
You know what's so
I'm
crazy,
dealing
yo?
with fucking freezer burned fucking ice cream right here, and I'm hungry.
Here's the thing, people.
You're eating ice cream. Oh my god.
I've
Normal.
I've literally gotten to a point, people, where I'm legitimately in real life outside the show going so fucking crazy. I thought I was just hearing that.
I really did think I muted my mic because I was just like, oh, it's thunderstorm hard as fuck outside. Let me go ahead and start picking at this fucking ice cream and mute my mic. Oh, no.
All right, at first I wasn't noticeable, and I heard her really trying to get that shit out.
Did you win, Jet?
No, I
you
didn't.
win?
It's still fucking in there.
Holy shit, just fucking put it in the microwave and get over with it.
I was like, what the fuck? Is she picking ice and she's stuck in her house? What the fuck?
How that happened to me once in Canada. Real quick, so what happened was we had a bunch of snow on our fucking roof, and it must have got really warm during the day and then really cold at night. So the snow was just trickling down, and it just fucking sealed our door. So I'm trying to leave for fucking school, and I can't open the fucking door. So I'm fucking tackling this fucking thing, trying to open the door. My dad fucking walks out going, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I can't get out of the house. He tries to open it, so both of us are fucking tackling the door, trying to get out of the house.
And then you
Took
start
about 10
panicking,
minutes.
like, "Oh the fuck, we're gonna get out of here!" Ah!
Oh, no, it was fine, but like there are other doors at the house, but it's like, hey, we can't have the main door sealed shut, so we're sitting there tackling and trying to fucking open the door.
Yeah, so I don't know, man, but like the feet thing, like I'll you know, really quick, I don't understand why we're still dealing with the feet thing. I don't like that at all. Plus, like, look, I can understand, I can get it where like it's a pretty girl with pretty feet. Maybe it's like, it's not my thing, but I can respect that. This girl's foot is like green and dirty and shit, and it's like, this is not even sexy for
We
someone
call that
who-
hippie chic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really give a fuck. Like, I like Quentin Tarantino's movies for the most part, and like Django Unchained. I just enjoyed the movie. I like the shootout at the end. I'll watch it because again, I like Quentin Tarantino movies, so it's like whatever. I don't even need to watch the trailer. I'll just check it out, see if it's good.
Yeah, true. And then, like, for me, too, it's just, like, it makes me wonder, okay, are we going to have really these huge-ass conversation pieces where people just say so much crazy shit just because it's a Tarantinoism? And then, once again, another Tarantinoism is the N-word. Man, people are leaving so many comments like, man, should we do a drinking game with this movie? Like, I'm going to watch this in an AMC wine and dine place, where the fuck, or, you know, and do a drinking game with how many times say the N-word. And it's like, wow, like, that sounds ridiculous, but I swear to God, that's going to happen, y'all. Like,
It's going to happen with the Marilyn Manson characters, because a lot of their ideas was a race war that they were trying to start in Hollywood by killing the white actors and blaming it on black people, or the black liberation movement down there.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
so I wouldn't be surprised if they
ring.
I wouldn't even be surprised if they fucking give them a chance to say the N-word when those guys show up.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes even in movies like Reservoir Dogs, like, I feel like, okay, in Pulp Fiction, I get when Tarantino says the N-word, like a dead N-word storage. Remember that?
He's
And-
supposed to be a
No,
fucking. He's supposed to be an asshole racist. Like he's playing an asshole racist.
Yeah, I
He's
get
playing
that. But the movie before that, Reservoir Dogs, that didn't make no fucking sense. There's a part where they're just talking in a car and driving. It's a very casual, just regular conversation, and they say the N-word like 3 times. Like, oh, is your like little sister dating that fucking N-word? And like that happens like 3 times, dude, and it does not fit. It's like you just wanted to do that because you probably have a black dude doing the camera or some shit, and you're like, hey, he's being paid for me, or paid by me, so I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. It's like, dude, no. And Hateful Eight does that shit too. Fucking all these movies do that. I don't really
Baby
do Kill,
Lotion,
though.
who was just defending the movie, probably said, "Yeah, to be honest, I think Tarantino's put Charlie Manson in there so he can get away with the N-word."
Yeah.
Probably.
It's fucking ridiculous, you know. So it's like when it comes to that stuff, like there's sometimes it can work. I'm not gonna get offended every single time. I'm not even black, so why the fuck would I get offended? But there's times where it's so obvious. It's like, dude, you're literally trying to do this. And after seeing that interview, by the way, where he was on some fucking talk show and he started doing a black voice. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh,
No, I
LaQuisha.
did not.
No, it wasn't LaQuisha. It might as fucking well been. But Tarantino's talking to these black hosts. He's like, "What's up, guys? How y'all doing? I love film." You know what I'm saying? And then the black dude's like, why are you talking like that? Like, that's kind of strange. And he does it, dude. Like, they go to commercial, they come back, he's still fucking doing it, bro.
That's one of my favorite things about when white people, like especially film nerds, find black exploitation films. Because to be honest, black exploitation films they are a great part of film history. These are people that made movies and that sometimes made a lot of money off of shitty budgets and shitty cameras they were going to get secondhand because no real film studio want to do black movies. But a lot of these white kids, they are just trying to emulate that style because they think it's cool. They don't realize that was a custom style that came out of a natural culture. So they're just mimicking shit. So anytime I friend these people that are really into like that 70s aesthetics or like that Shaft movie stuff, they always want to talk jive with me.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like,
And I'm not even black, so I can imagine if you're black what you deal with.
It's one of those
People
things where
calling
I guess,
fucking lamps bay.
I'm pretty sure you've been called Soul Sister before, Jet, by a white dude.
No, I don't allow that.
Yeah, I think
But-
after you talk with Jeff for like more than 2 sentences, you'll know she's not the fucking one to say that with.
oh,
Like-
yeah, mostly because you talk about eating chili peppers and ice cream, and you're like, what the hell are you doing with your life?
But go ahead, Doyle.
No, I was gonna say it's one of those things where it's like we were talking about earlier of how creative people are always kind of weird, and it's like, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like I don't see there's any malice or any like the badness when it goes to good. I just think he's a fucking weirdo that is just trying his best to fit in the only way he sees how, and he's just doing it in a fucking terrible way. So we know motherfuckers like that are just acting like they don't like acting like they think they need the room to be, and it's like, oh wait, this is how to fit in, right? It's like he's just really anti fucking social or just doesn't understand social cues, and he's just trying to do like what he's doing, what he thinks is fun or what he thinks it's meant to be right. And it's like I always focus again, like, what's the product this person's doing? And it's like, yeah, he does fucking good movies. There are issues with that, but it's like, as far as his outside stuff, it's like, whatever. You know, he's not hurting anybody, so.
I guess I'll give you that, but I can't help but be upset by it. It just annoys the fuck out of me because it's like one of those situations too where people do that and it's like the foot thing too. It's just too much of this guy's personal. Like we had a host that did this show, and you know all of a sudden like we're all on a podcast that has a Neko girl. And it's because of a sexual fantasy. It's like, you know, there is many other people involved with a certain property, and it's like now anyone that's in that Quentin Tarantino movie has to realize they're in a movie with N-words, they're in a movie with fucking foot fetish bullshit, and you know what I mean? It's too much. It's just, you know, like damn Tarantino, like stop jacking off, like fucking A. But anyways, moving on from that, and we'll make this pretty quick too. This movie, first of all, Babadook. I'm just gonna bring this up really quick. It was what's that fucking company I hate so much?
A24.
Thank you so much. A24 produced this movie Babadook, and it got so much fucking hype. People loved it. It came out in like 2016, 2015, something like that. And it was a female director. Her name was Jennifer Kent, I believe it was. And Jennifer Kent, I don't really like what she did with the horror movie, but everyone was kind of pumping it up because it's about like mother issues, dealing with losing your husband, dealing with a kid by yourself, and then she goes crazy. She's going through a nervous breakdown, and starts seeing this thing called the Babadook. And then by the end of the movie, you find out like, okay, well, this might be a universe or some kind of like fucking like sequel heavy fucking series because they don't know if the Babadook's real or not. So today I go on ScreenRant.com looking for topics, and the first thing I see is, oh my god, she's returned, the follow-up to Babadook. Holy shit, and it's called Nightingale. I watched this trailer. My god, it has nothing to do with horror. Has nothing to do with the Babadook. and it's not A24 though. It's IFC Films. But man, dude, I don't know why there was a part of me that literally wanted to see an actual follow-up to fucking Babadook. Especially when it
Because
comes
you wanted something to happen in the movie.
Exactly. I want to see a continuation of a story that I did invest my fucking heart into. I sat there, I watched it more than once to get it. I didn't get it. And by the way, before we even continue on, did you see the Babadook at all, Alan?
Oh fuck no! I honestly don't watch, like, again, except for the fact that it's like, hey, let me binge fucking entire horror series. I don't really go out of my way to watch horror movies or thriller movies because I just don't find them interesting. I feel like they're the exact same thing of, hey, let's just try to scare this audience. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this straight up: ghosts are bitches. One, they're not real, and two, even if they are real, they go through walls, which means they can't hurt me.
He
So all
says
the
that
ghosts
till
in my
one
room right now, y'all a
goes
bunch of
between his
bitches.
cheeks, then he's gonna be like, "Oh, ghosts are real, ghosts are real."
Howard, again, if a ghost can materialize and harm me, I can kick its ass.
I don't believe you can, but it's okay. Moving on from that though, so now Jennifer Kent, she's doing this fucking movie, and it's an action movie, The Nightingale, which the title of the movie Nightingale.
Sorry, this is an action. I saw that. That's a thriller. That's not an action movie. What the fuck was that?
Well, apparently, I mean, I look at it as a somewhat suspense action thriller movie. I mean, there's parts where, because the whole storyline is basically her family's done wrong, they get killed, probably raped. I mean, that's one of those things that they add in movies like this where it's like, hey, rape is a cheap way to get people to be suspenseful and be like, this is fucked up. So they always do that. Not sure if rape's in there. Well, who knows? I'm just guessing. But the thing is like, it's almost like, it reminds me kind of like Gladiator, where basically the character's family's killed, but that anger and that like, oh my god, I'm alone and my family's dead, that gives him enough power to be like the best fucking warrior ever.
Well, it's a
silly.
typical action movie thing. Hey, guy fucked me over for whatever fucking reason, has a bunch of nameless goons, but this is just going to be a situation where it's like, hey, let's just do Unforgiven but terrible, or let's like forget the actual reason why Unforgiven was even good at the first place. But it's like, I'm looking at this trailer going, this is just going to be like, Hannah Part 2, but even then it's like, I don't expect anything from this because this doesn't look like a good action movie. This looks like some typical fucking, American Hollywood thing of, let's set something in the period pace, let's get just a fucking Confederate or like, pre-modern weaponry, and let's just set it with a woman just to change things up. But like, this just looks like a fucking standard ass, like boring ass hypercut action movie. Like, it doesn't look anything more than what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what I feel too. And I'm trying not to be so. I want to be negative. I don't want to talk shit because, for one, it's just like I don't really have a lot to base my opinion off of. But it did get me thinking about like, okay, well, this is something that isn't done too often, and I did some research on this too. But I don't see many female directors doing any kind of action movies or whatever, and that's why I feel like maybe, this girl Jennifer Kent being put in this position, she's kind of taking some of the hype from the horror fans. Like, oh my god, I want to see this female director and see her perspective on action. I think she's kind of taking that with her on this and seeing like, okay, well, how can my perspective change the whole genre, or at least the genre of this film? So I'm wondering, man, like, Alan, do you know of any like female directors and how they do, like, let's say not necessarily an action movie, but just any of the genres? Has there ever been like a female perspective, directing or producing wise, that's changed something completely where it has a new, a new style?
Honestly, not off the top of my head, because like a lot of times, like with the directors one thing, but like even female written stuff, like I only look into certain directors or certain stuff for favorite movies. So it's like I really don't know anything off the top of my head. Like Patty Jenkins is one thing, but I really think that the action in Wonder Woman was more of Zack Snyder's vision, where everything else was Patty Jenkins' vision. She was just able to make a great movie, with this character. So it's like, honestly, off the top of my head, it's like having a female perspective in anything when it comes to having the actual action star versus the choreography, the writing, it does change things because, again, as a result of them just being a different person, they're able to do stuff that's just different to them. So it's like you do get to see this change of perspective. I can't really put my finger on it, but like, again, when I'm seeing something like Kill Bill with this fucking crazy ass action scene with Uma Thurman in it, and I look at something like 300, which is male sword fighting scene, I see a lot of differences based on just the fact that one's a man and one's a woman. Not saying one is better than the other. I love them both. For instance, I might actually like Kill Bill way more just because they're able to do way more interesting stuff with the fact that they're dealing with a female in the lead there, because you have different levels of strength that you have to actually work with. So you have to basically either make them faster or make them able to use their environment better. So it makes more interesting action scenes. So that's why I'm really interested. Like, hey, whenever I see a woman in action, I'm like, okay, cool. What are you gonna do? Because they always do some crazy shit with that.
Yeah, because here's the thing too, and we watch this in the after hours, and I'm, obviously you're probably gonna disagree. I think everyone in here is gonna disagree, but there's a girl, Mimi Letter, and and that's the first person when I looked up like female directors and whatnot, like she was actually the first thing that came up, and I gotta tell you, I feel like she did do something back in the '90s. We watched this thing in the after hours called Deep Impact, and she did this. This girl right here that I'm showing on screen.
Oh, that movie fucking sucked.
Okay, well, you feel like it sucked. I feel like at the time, it was a movie that really had nothing going for it. Like that movie was so.
You're right.
Yeah, it was so empty. But the thing is that what she did was she built so many characters that literally all had the same fate. They were all gonna die. This was the end of the world movie. Like this fucking thing was gonna hit the water and it's gonna wipe out the entire fucking city. And she, I think her perspective of just like telling the story about the people. There wasn't no girl. I was like, help me, guy, boyfriend.
There literally was the main character that was in Constant Crisis.
No, she. Do you know what movie we're talking about? The one with the asteroid that hits the water.
The shitty asteroid movie.
Well, there's the last shitty asteroids movie.
The
Okay.
Deep Impact. The one that was like Armageddon.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what you mean by that then, because I feel like that women were done right. I thought that like, and that's the perspective I feel like that women add to certain things, where I don't feel like there's ever like a, like damsel in distress. But I mean, you felt like there was.
Yeah, no, that fucking movie's goddamn boring as hell, and yeah, she is a damn good for the most part until the fucking near the end. Like, I'm sorry, that movie is painfully dull. I watched it in school, and the only way we can get through that movie.
Why did you watch it in school?
I don't fucking know. I watched it in school because I think it was like almost the end of summer vacation, so no teacher was like, "I'm not gonna teach you shit. You got 3 days left of school. Let's watch some fucking movies." Mm-hmm. And the only way I got through that fucking movie was in my head. I just kept assuming that it was just Frodo, and if he got the ring, he could save the world. So I would just keep saying that during the movie. Get the ring, Frodo. Get the fucking ring.
Max is saying the movie did a deep impact on his insomnia. Jed, I'm going to ask you really quick. You were with us when we watched Deep Impact. What did you think about the movie? Did you feel that it was a different kind of movie because of a female perspective, or do you feel like, nah, piece of shit?
Are you sure I was there? Because I don't remember it. I don't remember this shit.
Damn it.
We watched it in the after hours for 20 minutes, and only Nick likes this movie. He's the only one.
Hey, hold on. I like it too.
No, you don't, you liar.
And by the way,
like
you just admitted you only watched 20 minutes. You fucking sack of shit.
No, we
What
only
the
watched
fuck?
20 minutes of the after hours. I watched the movie as a kid, and I thought I was bored as shit.
I don't care who you are. Deep Impact has the most saddest ending. It's better than Armageddon.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I think
not.
it's better than Armageddon, yes.
No, it's not better than Armageddon. How
It
does Michael
is.
Bay make a more
All right,
interesting movie than your ass does?
look. You should appreciate Deep Impact more because it actually does science. The reason they
No,
don't
it
really
doesn't!
Yeah,
oh
it
my
does.
god, don't even get me started on how stupid that ending is!
compared to Armageddon where they blow
Yeah,
up.
actually, having a fucking drilling point there to blow it up, make it smaller, is way better than a
Alright,
suicide
so-
run into the planet.
Instead of cutting it in half and putting it in an ocean where you could have enough category where you can have people casualties where you know where it's going to happen, compared to big size ones, size bigger than stadium,
Okay,
flying randomly coming down.
two things. One, a fucking small piece of it broke off because their fucking plan failed and hit the ocean, which killed the main character, by the way. Second of all, their second plan was to get this fucking tiny ass, like, USB fucking ship and fly it into this giant asteroid, and then it just vaporizes, and oh man, we solved the problem. At least in Armageddon,
He hired
they said
oil construction workers to go to space, Alan.
that is the dumbest part of that movie, but the actual plan isn't, because they're like, we break it up in small enough pieces, it'll burn up in the atmosphere, which happens all the time. Asteroids are constantly hitting our
Alan,
planet,
an
burning
asteroid
through.
that size would not break down that big, small.
Oh, but a ship the size of a fucking, like, 3 cars back to back is gonna destroy a fucking, like, city the size of Texas.
You know what? Let's get back with Chet with fucking her ice movie she's doing.
Oh, thank God. I was hoping you guys
Deep
would end.
Impact is less realistic
Oh,
than a
God
Michael
damn
Bay
it.
movie.
I tried.
Here's
Anyway,
the
I still don't know what the fuck movie you guys are talking. I even looked it up. I don't know what the fuck you guys have been talking about. But
thing. Okay, well,
Andrew said y'all arguing is cute on the Facebook
Fucking
chat.
Michael Bay made a more realistic movie than yours. Shut the fuck up and stop making movies.
No, he did
Yes,
not.
Yes, he
I
did.
will not let you have the final word this time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna sit here and be in a room full of people that like Deep Impact.
You had a half-ass comedian. Like towards the end of his career, like yeah, he was good for a little part, but he literally gets hit by a rocket so he can dangle his dog. This is some bullshit. You trying to
It is
defend
some
that
bullshit,
movie.
but so is Deep Impact. Deep Impact was
Deep
bullshit
Impact had
in the world.
emotion. It had character.
It had
had
bullshit
people.
emotion.
no, there was weight.
But
There
what
was weight.
about
to the situation.
Independence Day?
Oh no, I'm not talking about Independence Day. Oh,
No,
fuck
but the thing
you.
is, though, that movie did have. Here's the thing. Keep in mind, Armageddon sold its trailers and its whole, like, its fucking poster on Armageddon, death, destruction, kaboom, and the whole movie is kaboom. So it's like, okay, I did get what I came from. Deep Impact had me at the edge of my seat, and they only had one fucking action scene. That movie.
Oh,
is,
you give
is
so
all
much shit
character.
to other movies for only having one action scene.
No, I know, but the thing is, if you do it right and you make it worth it, because in the 90s, that shit was worth it. Armageddon, I went there, and shit was blowing up the whole time, and I didn't give a fuck. Do you think I cried at the end of fucking Armageddon? Hell no.
Yeah, you
not
did.
crying.
Oh no, but you
I
cried
thought,
when he was
I thought
fucking.
Ben Affleck was a fuckboy. I was happy when he fucked.
No,
When he was about to die and Bruce Willis comes and saves him, that shit pissed me off.
Yeah, that was some
no,
bullshit.
you were fucking crying when he was putting the animal crackers on her body to whatever fucking song was
Oh, that was-
going on.
that was-
Aerosmith. Okay, Ganja, shut the fuck up.
Don't put me
I'm
in there.
sorry,
Don't
man.
put me in there with him. I didn't do that shit.
I'll
See,
put
Cedric has
crackers
my
on your
fucking
fucking
back.
stomach.
He prefers
Ganja.
Armageddon. Oh, that's pay-per-view Armageddon. Never mind. I fucking missed that part. But Armageddon is a better movie than Deep Impact. It's more entertaining. It's not as long.
Oh my god, man. And your mic is fucking up. It's all good.
Don't give a goddamn shit. Fuck Deep
Look,
Impact.
Alan, I don't want to miss a thing.
I hate you so much. I'll never tell you
That
another
movie
fucking
is
thing in my
great.
life, Ganja. I'll never tell you
The movie is
shit.
awesome.
Never tell you shit.
You still get an
Bitch.
emotional sacrifice. The fucking father-in-law accepts this dumbass as somebody that can protect his daughter because he's willing to sacrifice himself for other people. So he decides, you know what? You go live your life because I live mine and protect my daughter. Like fuck you. That is more emotional than Dad. Like just look at Dad. Let's just die together. Fuck it.
How's what?
That is some stupid
What
bullshit.
are you talking about?
Yeah,
Deep
I,
Impact
honestly,
is
I don't
a
even know anymore. Okay, anyways, moving on. Like, okay, so you guys don't think that she was good.
What about post-impact?
Shut up. So this person, Mimi Ledger. Okay, obviously you guys don't like her. She did other movies I was gonna talk about, but holy shit, we're not gonna continue on because of this. She would be pissed off if she watched this. But she did The Leftovers as well and The Peacemaker. Those two, I feel like were okay as well. They were different and they stood out for like the couple of fucking years that they were, around, release. So whether or not they're bad, they were different perspective-wise. Something I feel like wasn't very different due to female perspective was this girl stuff. She did The Defenders. She did The Tick. I think she actually worked on a couple of Walking Dead episodes too. Her name is S.J. Clarkson. And
I heard about her.
yeah, for me, I don't think she added a whole lot. I feel like she did. It wasn't Walking Dead. She did Jessica Jones and Defenders. And yeah, for me, honestly, you could not tell. You cannot tell a single fucking thing. You would think that watching Jessica Jones, I would feel like, oh, this is a great female-driven movie or show, whatever the fuck. It really wasn't. Jessica Jones was so underdeveloped. I really could not stand her fucking character. She kept making dumb decisions constantly. It was very generic shit. It felt like, I remember watching this with Jet. We watched season 2, and I felt, and I said this a couple times, where I was like, I feel like a man wrote this, and this is what he thinks a female superhero would be fucking going through. And to think of it, it was S.J. Clarkson, another female who wrote the shit. So what the fuck? You know what I mean?
I was barely even watching this shit. I was so fucking bored.
Yeah, it was
I
very, very
really
boring.
actually did enjoy season 2 of Jessica Jones because again, it felt like it had a consistent energy at around like 7, and yeah, I just like going through her journey of her trying to figure out what the actual hell is going on. I think that female writers, directors, action stars, they're always able to give a decent perspective, but at the end of the day, you can't. Again, like they tried to sell Wrinkle in Time is a fucking female directed movie, and it was a piece of garbage. The product itself needs to be good. You can't just sell a movie based on whoever the hell's behind the camera. You have to have a good product beside it.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, I mean, that's one thing that kind of, I don't know, I had to bring up. But then the thing that I want to bring up in a nice way, and to talking good about somebody for once, you fucker, is Angela Kane, the girl who's done season 9 of The Walking Dead, and the best Negan episodes of The Walking Dead. She is fucking great.
I thought we just talked about Walking Dead. Why are we back here again?
We're doing this because
that's
I
the
love
only
The
thing
Walking
Nick
Dead.
knows.
No, that's not. But don't even talk shit about knowledge, Mr. Armageddon was better in Deep Impact. Due to
was!
fucking storyline perspective. You don't know.
I feel like
shit.
I feel like I
Nick is
just
a piece of shit.
I feel like I basically just dodged a fucking pie and I turned around and one gets slammed in my fucking face.
The embodiment of the fucking Tommy. Tom and Jerry
Why
shit.
not be an asshole?
Fuck The Walking Dead.
But somebody else that also worked on Walking Dead, and this is what I meant to say earlier, is that she also worked on Jessica Jones and The Tick, which, by the way, The Tick, people don't talk enough about The Tick. I think that came out the wrong time when all this other Marvel shit was happening, and
Yeah.
The Tick, if it would have came out like now, it would have gotten tons of love. But Rosemary Rodriguez, she also worked on The Walking Dead as well with Angela Kane, and she did great. Rosemary Rodriguez, but she does lots of episodes where it's tons of action. And she made The Tick actually entertaining with like some comedy to add some fucking like levity to the situation, and not like generic comedy that you would see in something like fucking like some of the Daredevil episodes like Yikes or like Luke Cage shit. And those are situations where I think they work well. So then to go back to this with the Babadook girl, what's her name? Jennifer Kent. Keep forgetting her fucking name. Don't blame me though. She don't do shit. I just feel like this is a hype that's going around, but only because the concept of the Babadook was good, not necessarily her directing. And it's just like, based on that, man, I mean, like, you saw the trailer, Alan. Do you feel at any point that this is actually going to feel like anything that's not just your typical fucking, like, male-driven storyline where, oh, I'm gonna get revenge because you killed my family. I mean, is there
No,
anything that's different about this?
No, this is the exact same thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like Unforgiven. I'm not even gonna say it always has to be fucking, drastically different. It's just, again, I fucking love action movies, so when I'm seeing this, I am not seeing anything that signifies this more as like one scene where she stabs some dude. It's like this is an action. This is not an action movie. This is some fucking like chase movie where she might fire a gun once at the end of the fucking movie to kill the guy, or she might have a situation have like this isn't a situation where it's not. This isn't a John Wick where she's fucking doing all this crazy shit. This isn't a fucking other movies in that same fucking vein. This isn't even Unforgiven that only has one action scene at the end. This is just gonna be some stupid bullshit where it's gonna be The Revenant but less interesting.
See, that's a great example. Is like, yeah, Revenant, that's less interesting. Well, I mean, it has less budget too. That's another thing. It's like maybe they're gonna try to do a lot of build on just like the suspense of it all. Because
I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about budget. The Raid 1 was made for $2.5 million, and that is one of the best action movies ever made.
But they sold this up just on choreography though. And choreography is not expensive.
But,
get the right guy
choreography, it takes a lot of time and effort, especially on the actor's side, and also the fucking again. You have the situation where there's a decent the story in The Raid is probably gonna be just as complex as the story in this stupid fucking movie. Oh, hey, somebody fucked me over for some fucking reason. Let me just go kill him and meet up with this random dude who's gonna help me for some fucking reason. The Raid story is probably way more complicated than that fucking movie will be.
Okay, well, shit. I'm very upset that you feel this way, but it is what it is. I'm gonna ask Jet something really quick because she is the only female in here. I will ask, and I know you didn't watch this trailer because you just don't like shit like this sometimes. What do you feel like? Is there any female-driven property that's usually like driven by men that was different because of the woman?
Well, it was different because of the.
Yeah, like a movie, anime, or some kind of anything creative. Do you feel like? It was once driven by men, and when the female came in, or women in general, that perspective changed everything for the good. Or for the worse. I mean, we have a negative version of that, go ahead, but have you seen more so positive in that sense?
There probably is a lot, but none at the moment popped to my head.
Okay.
I know that that's probably more apparent, like, in anime, if anything, because there's a lot of female characters, but...
Because I thought you were going to say this really quick. Nana, I thought was a huge example of that. I think that Nana...
Nana was made by a girl.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like Nana was...
I thought you said, like, made by a guy, but then, like, brought in women in their show.
Maybe I fucked that up. I don't know. But I mean in the sense of, like, usually, most of these... and I'm not saying, like, most anime creators are all men, but it's just, like... judging by most of the time when there's like a female-driven or female-filled show.
If you're talking about show like animes like made by women that actually are like very well received, Sailor Moon, Nana, Full Metal Alchemist, like there's plenty. Like a lot of times, like a lot of them in the romance genre usually do very, very well.
Yeah, because I want to bring this up really quick too, and I know we never get to talk about anime as much as I feel like we should. And I'm trying to find a fucking video, but apparently I can't find it because YouTube.
I'm trying to find an anime.
Yeah, well, yeah, like that's literally what I'm doing. But no, this over here, this anime Nana. So every time I used to talk shit about anime or even talk about it in general, I would be more negative because the only thing I can think of when it comes to females in anime is they're naked. Or they're very, very young, 12 years old, and there's a fucking camera shot right up their crotch, and I'm, watching this really weird shit. And I started hating anime fans even. And then Jet showed me the light. Jet's like, no, there's other shit out there that can be really serious and thought out and fleshed out. So I'm watching Nana, and as soon as this shit starts, I'm seeing these two girls here. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, they're going to be lesbian, they're going to be naked, whatever the fuck. This show is nothing like that. This show has so much shit going for it emotionally and just building the fucking universe. They got 10 characters on here that I know all their backstory and I care about everything that they're doing. I want to know what's going to happen with every single one of these characters, and it's so fucking good. And it's not stereotypical at all. There's times where you laugh at the silly shit that's going on. There's times where it's so depressing you almost want to fucking cry. And there's times where you're literally angry as shit. And it's like, I think that this is a great example of just like, this is how you fucking do it. This is how a female's perspective of a show that's filled with female characters, you sometimes you need women to write the shit, because if this was a guy doing this, I guarantee they would have started making out or whatever the fuck. And I mean, Jet, I'm gonna ask you, do you feel the same way as far as like if a man did this, it would probably be kind of gross and perverted?
I'm gonna go ahead and say this: like 9 times out of 10, you can tell when a fucking man made an anime.
Yeah, and that's what I feel
they'll
too.
give them the really small ass waist and the really big ass fucking titties. They'll be very, very, very one dimensional. They'll like always like revolve around like the main like guy character and shit. And when the girls actually do talk to each other, it's usually about like, no, he likes me. No, he likes me. You have small ass titties. Well, you
now
have
we're going
big
to Death
saggy
Note.
titties.
I don't know. We're talking about Death Note.
Well, okay, no, that wasn't the case with Dead Note. You
Fuck that.
You gave up on that character.
I dropped out. That fucking diva chick. I dropped out when that fucking person showed up, man.
JP is saying never read anything from Koda Harano. I see. I don't know who the fuck that is. Baby Lotion Mop is saying who got saggy titties. Ganja, he got some saggy titties.
Yeah, you want to see?
Actually, yeah. Let's do it on. Yo, for the Twitch chat, let's make a clip. Go ahead.
Yo, I got a question.
What?
No.
If I show my tits, is it still under the nudity law?
You know what? Let's not do it. No, because
let's not test it. How about that?
Honestly, my boner went away. I don't want to see it now. But anyway, so
You don't want to kill his boner with that copyright strike.
yeah.
Again,
I mean, if you want to basically an example of a female director, basically like doing like Girls Terribly. This show was so fucking boring, and I don't know how it got so popular. I'm pretty sure like men made it popular because they love that cute girls doing fucking cute shit bullshit. Fucking goddamn
high school.
Fucking K-On. That shit is so fucking boring.
KKK what?
No, K-On. Literally K then on.
Okay, because you said KK on. I was like, oh, is this some racist anime? Like,
yeah, I'm gonna say what.
At this point, like, I wouldn't be surprised.
Honestly, I got a question to ask, Jet. As someone who's a fan of anime, how do you handle with all the sexism in it? Because, like, I know it's not all animes, because not all mediums have sexism, but anime is pretty notorious. It's mostly because the majority of the fan base might not be the majority. Let's be honest, it's starting to change a little bit, but the vast majority, especially when we were growing up, of people that were fan of animes just really wanted to fuck the characters.
Well, I think that was oh, sorry.
Because that's why they're one-dimensionals and they're the biggest complaint. So how did you become a fan of anime dealing with a lot of these one-dimensionals, basically pillow toys for guys, until like recently they started really developing their own personalities and actually getting shows around like either women writers are involved now or people that are actually writing real characters for women?
Look at the art style, and also like I basically stayed within the romance genre. So basically, a lot of that's written by women, so you didn't get a whole bunch of that bullshit.
Well, I think the real thing is... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And also, like, there's a ton of anime that comes out within a season. With every, like, 10, like, with that fan service bullshit, you'll get at least 5 that actually has a decent storyline and doesn't do that shit. Even, like, back then.
The one thing I wanted to say, too, really quick, and this is the reason why I was really trying to, like, get in there when Gandhi was talking, was the fact that, like, those anime that's really popular, like, I mean, you feel like, oh, well, that's most anime. It really isn't. I don't think it ever was. I think what it was is just like, we're guys, so anybody that we know that's into anime, like, they're obviously going to talk about, like, yo, hey, man, y'all want something to jack off to, dog? Like, this shit's great. You know what I'm saying?
It does come for that, but before, I think recently, and they've done studies on this now, that more women are starting to get into more of nerd culture and just anime and all that stuff in general. So, like, before then, like, in the early 2000s and the 90s, this stuff was notoriously just written for like prepubescent boys, both in Japan and here in America, to basically wank one off to the female characters. That's why, especially when you go back to the 80s and early 90s anime, a lot of it is just hugely sexualized female characters, even down to the ones that are supposed to be 14 years old, like Sailor Moon. Now they're getting a lot better now, and I'm pretty sure with Jet not trying to avoid those stuff, really was able to find the nice niche audience. But let's be honest, the mainstream market, there's a reason the pillow meme became such big, because there were guys in large numbers that bought those things. And it became viable to sell those things. So let's not stay away from the fact that that was their origin. And I get why it has some leftovers and why some female characters aren't being done, are still being done poorly. But it's good to see it now advancing the medium, now that more and more people of different diversities are coming in contact with medium and adding their input to it. Like, let's not even talk about how racist anime was until recently.
Oh, let's not talk about Keijo. Keijo fucking exists. Like, that is like, that's like the peak. And it's like, that's actually, I'm kind of a thing, that's what happened for the longest.
Keijo was 100% written by a fucking man. That's very fucking obvious.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like, I actually hated anime. I still have that kind of thing of like, 90% of fucking anime is a bunch of idiots in fucking high school that are just looking at fucking women up their skirt. Like, I fucking hated a lot of, what was that, Inuyasha, because one, it's just, this character is just fucking being dragged around, and another male character that's actively sexually assaulting a woman the entire fucking series.
The thing about Inuyasha was made by a woman.
Yeah, really? There's a character that actively is grabbing a woman's ass over the entire
It was a
fucking
different
series.
time period, bro. Like,
also,
it's tough to say that, but it's true.
the thing about Inuyasha is like, even though there was like Miroku, like the thing about Miroku is he is seen as a pretty much a despisable pervert, but he has more to him. And also, what a lot of people don't know is that the creator basically did tell the animators, "Hey, I don't want any fucking panty shots in this. Don't like Gome falls down a lot. Do not do any like up skirts or anything like that." She basically was just like, "Hey, yeah, there's gonna be like certain things where the girls are naked when they're taking baths and shit, but other than that, no fan service. I don't want it."
Yeah, which is great, you know. But you know what doesn't have a whole lot of fan service either, though? Double toasted. And you fell down.
No, that was my pencil. I was writing something down.
She's like, no, fuck this. But no, that's my favorite anime girl right there, Martin Thomas. So before he shows his titties, let's go ahead and get the fuck out of here so you guys can go and watch this live. What you call it, Mr. Alan Shakazine? I know you've been doing so much stuff. You're so fucking busy. I'm very proud of you because honestly, I think you're gonna be doing more with the reviews than I ever will be, and I kind of want to be like you one day. I'm gonna grow up and be an Alan. Why don't you tell people how to find your stuff and why they should be proud as well?
Yes, if you go to oneofus.net and look at Screener Squad, you're going to see a bunch of stuff. We have a huge slew of shit coming out in June, so there's going to be a bunch of stuff that I'm going to be a part of. We also, if you go for the final watch to begin, we finished the Game of Thrones fucking talk. So if you want to hear me have to try to contain myself from not screaming "fuck Bran Stark" for the entirety of that last episode, like there's an entire like last 20 minutes of a joke dedicated to how much I fucking hate Bran Stark's character. But yeah, be sure to check that out. There's also Final Days of God in there up a couple weeks ago. So check that shit out. It was fucking trash too. I don't know which is worse. I'm gonna go with Game of Thrones because it had more potential to be bad. And yeah, there's all that stuff. So be sure to check me out there.
Yeah, and then Mr. Ganja Guru, you're part of the Metropolis. The Metropolis Collective.
Damn right, I'm part of the great collective city known as the Metropolis, where we have different kind of creatives, artists, podcasters, interviewers, pretty much anything Rufus can get his hands on, and just show you guys some great content. Right now, I'm working on the next episode of Subversive History. This one's going to be about 420 culture, weak culture, and the evolution of it, and of course, my heavy criticism on where it's going. My previous episodes on May Day, which is a workers' history that came out around, I think, 2-3 weeks ago, so make sure to check that out. It's still relevant. I made sure not to date it. It's always about the history, so I try to keep it at least contemporary where you guys can just enjoy it. The next thing I'm part of is the Illuminati podcast. Me, Alan, and the great Rufus Wonder on the littlefireburner.com. We talk about politics, talk about society, give our cultural opinion, and of course, our cultural judgment on things. We have thrown out the guillotine plenty of times on the podcast, so make sure to check it out.
Oh, yes, and then guys, check me out. I'm going to be doing some more video game playthroughs. Tomorrow, actually, I might be coming on. I might say it for the end of the show. We'll see. But Terminator Dark Fate, the 6 o'clock in the morning, PST is going to be coming out. What?
Did you see that new poster that looked like a bad Photoshop job?
No, it's really cool, actually. You're a fucking idiot. But the thing is, though, is that Terminator Dark Fate, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you an idiot, but no, you're not. No, fuck you, actually, you're an idiot. So, Terminator.
Fuck this movie.
Terminator Dark Fate is going to be great. I'm so fucking hyped. I cannot wait to see my boy Arnie back. He's walking around just fucking shooting Terminators and everything. It's going to be awesome. Fuck you, Alan. Fuck you. But anyways, it's going to be great. I cannot wait. I might do a reaction thing afterwards to talk with you guys about the shit. But the thing is, it's not a whole lot to say because it's just going to be 2 minutes. Probably going to be a bunch of fucking logos going on. So if that is the case, I'll just say for the gaming show tomorrow, which speaking of the gaming show, we're going to be talking about video game topics as well as some gameplay. I've been trying not to do MK11 streams, but apparently I went through some analytical stuff, and that's the shit that is really working for us a lot. And by the way, I just want to do a small shout out, or not a call out really. Cedric, CJC, where the fuck have y'all been? I want to play some Mortal Kombat 11 with you guys. I want to whoop your ass online and show everybody on a fucking stream that can beat the shit out of you. Come on, damn it. Come on. Gertz, I'm going to send this to you too. I'm going to clip this shit, send it to you. I want to fight you on the show. I am ready. I will fuck you up. I will fuck DJ Miles up. Alan, you too. I will beat your fucking ass on Mortal Kombat 11. So if you guys can join me on that, that'd be cool. And if you don't want to get your ass kicked, that's fine. You can watch. You can just talk.
That's okay. You're gonna be wrong about Terminator, so I can live with that.
Yeah, and hopefully Alan can join me, and I can just prove him in so many ways that he was fucking wrong. I'm so scared to even say that.
Oh, if you fucking do a goddamn trailer,
you know what? On that 3, on that 2, on that 1.
I don't have it ready, you dumbass.
Why did you just start counting down?
Yeah,
I just want to interrupt you for the fuck of it.
Yeah, I don't even have it ready. What's the music? What music is gonna be there?
I don't know, the one in my head.
Pick an epic song from Deep Impact.
You know what? There you go. Good night, everybody. Jesus, I got the music now.
Yeah, I'm fucking stuff.
Yeah, you remember that memorable song from Deep Impact? The one that goes like...
Like what, Alan?
Exactly, like what?
asshole. That was a good
You
movie.
must think Godzilla 2000 is great just for the soundtrack with Pete.
Now that's
Yeah, no shit.
That's
Actually, that sounds
fucking
good.
dick. That song actually like that movie.
Nah, that sounds good.
Now that song go again. I ain't scared. I ain't running.
Fuck you, big ass lizard. Kick your ass.
Bad boy. All day.
He doesn't. What?
Fuck
Deep Impact
K-On.
sucks.
I don't know what Deep Impact is, but K-On sucks.